Hello, my name is Daniel, and this video in the series is going to be about chord closure, vocal fold closure, and why that matters to you. For example, a student might come in and say, I keep running out of air, when I'm singing, can you give me some breathing exercises? And to that person, what I would tell them is it's not about developing breathing exercises. If you're running out of air, then there is a muscular coordination in your larynx that is out of balance. It's not being optimized. So in that person's instance, if they're running out of air when they're singing, they need to work on developing their chord closure. Their tone is breathy, a lot of air is just escaping unused. And that's why they're running out of air, because your air is like your fuel, so the second that you spend it, if you're not getting any sound from that air, then you're running out, and then you get tired. So the idea is we have to strengthen the muscles that resist the air coming through rather than focus on creating, more breath capacity. So in vocalization, that's when the air goes into your larynx and what happens to it there. Chord closure is talking about the vocal folds activity. So when the air goes in, like I said, the vocal folds start getting hit apart like that, and that's how they vibrate the sound, going at a very rapid pace. So if you were to slow it down, there's one cycle of opening and closing, and the amount of time it spends closed in that cycle is chord closure. So when you're making that cycle, if you have it closed only about 20% of the time, you're going to have a very airy tone. Now if you were to close it more 50 to 80% of the time, that's the optimal range, where you'd be getting just enough air to create the tone you want, and that would be more like or you might find that there's too much strain in your voice. If there's too much strain, then it's probably way too much closer, and also some of the outside muscles, extrinsic muscles, starting to get activated. But for those of you who have the tendency to run out of air when you're singing, it's because you're not getting enough chord closure. I run out of air really quick if I'm singing. I'm out of air, squeezing out at that point. But if I want to last for a really long time, you're getting the idea. And I didn't take a big at the beginning of that, like it seems that most people would tell you to do. Just take big breaths. Without a big breath, you could probably get a good 30 to 40 seconds of sound. If you were to take a big breath, then you could probably up that to closer to a minute of sound without needing to take breaths. I remember with my classical trainers, before I learned the technique that helped liberate my voice and be able to do all the things that I wanted to do with it, my classical teachers were always having me take a pencil and write all these comma marks where I could sneak in a breath. So I'd be singing blah 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 throughout the song, just to make it for that one long note. And when you're doing that and you're focusing on the breaths that you have to sneak in order to make it through the song, then you're losing the whole purpose of singing in the first place, which is about bringing out the excitement of the song, bring out the musicianship of it. And the same goes for jazz or R&B or rock or anything like that. If you're worried about not making it through your phrase that you're singing, you're not in the music, you're not in the moment, you're not firing people up, you're not giving them an experience that they're craving because you're sitting there worried. One way to do that is say something like, uh-oh, and feel what happens in your throat when you do that. Uh-oh, And if you do that a lot of times, you're training more of that strength into the voice to shut those chords. Uh-oh, and then you're building that relationship or awareness of the muscle that's going to help you last for a long time when you're singing. That's on a very elementary level. If you're someone who's an advanced singer, you might need some more in-depth uses of that idea of strengthening the closure of those muscles. the ability for them to adduct. That's what chord closure comes down to. How much time is spent closed, and the amount of time is spent closed is there's an optimal window of 50-80%, and then there's too little closure where a lot of air is escaping. Remember, your air is like fuel, it's like money. So if you're spending too much of it or wasting too much of it, you're gonna run out. And then you have to fit in all these extra breaths. So if we can just get that chord closure to that optimal level, then you won't have to worry when you're singing. Once again, my name's Daniel, and this is a part of a series of videos that will help inform you as a vocalist when you're looking for training or if you're just working on your voice. And you can find more information about me personally at bridgetownvocal.com. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Trisha Gray from SingLikeAStar.com, and this is how to get rid of voice breaks. Voice breaks or flips occur because of either a temporary or a permanent disruption in the ability of the vocal cords to remain appropriately adducted or together. Appropriate adduction means the vocal cords come together in order to resist the correct amount of airflow from below, like this. The amount of time that they remain together in the cycle of open and closed is called closed quotient. If we have too much closed quotient, we have no sound at all. Ha! If we have too little, the sound is airy, breathy, and weak. Ha! With just enough or appropriate vocal cord adduction, we have balance. Ah! Some singers have vocal breaks because they're pushing the chest voice too high. So they go up as far as possible in the chest voice, hyperextending the vocal cords in order to squeeze out a few extra notes, and then they're finished. The vocal cords let go completely because they can no longer sustain the tension required to sing any higher in the coordination. This singer pulls chest. Ah! Starts yelling as they get to the top. A good exercise for a person who pulls chest is like this. Shoo, shoo, shoo on the 1.5. Shoo, 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 shoo. The combination of the sh, which allows more airflow, and the oo, which is a narrow vowel and drives toward the head voice, will allow the singer to release the tendency to grip and remain stuck in the chest voice. Shoo, 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 shoo. Shoo, 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 shoo. Now some singers have the opposite problem. They have vocal breaks because the vocal cords blow open temporarily due to a lack of consistent adduction throughout the voice. Remember, we discussed earlier that adduction means the vocal cords are coming together. This person may be singing with a lack of energy throughout the voice and a breathy or weak sound, or they might be pulling chest. A good exercise to counteract flipping starts with which gets the vocal cords together, and then you want to go to Notice how the vocal cords are now staying together as I do this long gallop exercise up to the top. Then you want to open up and take that to a vowel sound like this. Mem, 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 mem. Mem, 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 mem. Notice I'm putting just a little bit of the edgy sound into the mem sound, which helps the chords to stay adducted. Mem, 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 mem. Mem, 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 mem. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I can only demonstrate each exercise a few times. This has been Trisha Gray with SingLikeAStar.com, and we have been discussing how to get rid of voice breaks.
Hey everyone, this is Kevin Richards from Rock the Stage NYC here on YouTube and RPMVocalStudios.com on the web for voice lessons worldwide. Today's little quick tip, vocal exercise tip here, what I'm going to do is going to show you how your mouth opening, or as they say in French for the horn players, your embouchure, what it should look like when you're vocalizing long phrases. Now I'm not talking about singing, I'm talking about vocalizing long, drawn-out phrases. Like on my vocal course, Breaking the Chains, I have an exercise which is the ya, ah exercises, which goes like this. Ya, ah, 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 ah. right? If we kind of stretch that out, ya, right? It's just a 4-note arpeggio over a span of an octave, right? Now, when I talk about the mouth opening, it means when I drop the jaw to get a nice big bright sound for the bottom note, I want to keep that as I go through all the other notes. This is what I talked about in another video, link right there, where I talked about consistent acoustical space. And that's basically just maintaining the amount of space you've got within the mouth here, within the vocal tract, with the throat and then the mouth. Keeping that open, getting that nice bright sound, and giving that same openness and sound to all of the notes. Not opening your mouth even wider for top notes and not starting small and then suddenly opening your mouth really wide as you go up higher. Basically just keeping the mouth, drop it right away, good sound. You got a good sound, why mess with it? Why tweak that? Why get in there and go, but wait, I should do for those? No, leave it alone. Now in the exercise, the ya-ahs, I'm going to show you this exercise from the bottom, from the C here. Take it up to the C sharp. And I'll show you what that should look like. Start really low here on the C below middle C. Ya. You can hear how open and resonant that is, right? Great sound. Why am I going to mess with it? Let's try to keep that as much as possible as we go through the other notes. Ya. Ya. Into lower head voice, and you're going to hear that my sound, my tone does not change because I'm giving all of the notes from low all the way up. I'm giving them all the same amount of space, all the same amount of tone. I'm not trying. I got a good sound. Why mess with it? Slightly more for the very top note, because that's going into true head voice, so I want to give it a little more space to allow that resonance to kind of go up into in the soft palate, up into the sinus cavity. So I'm going to give it a little bit more mouth to activate those upper resonators and allow the sound to thin out and go up into the head voice even better. I'll start again back down here on the G sharp. What you can also hear is that in this exercise, given the proper amount of space and your support is nice and even all the way through, if you establish a really good sound in these lower notes, quote-unquote lower notes, right? Why mess with that process? Keep that process, whatever you're doing to set up that really nice sound down here. The amount of air you're using, the openness of the sound in the throat and the mouth, it's working. If it works down here, it'll work here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and there, and there, and there. It'll work. If the setup is right in the lower notes, the setup will work in the higher notes. All you're then doing is stretching the vocal cord. But the air support through it, the resonance and the tone are allowing to place themselves naturally. You also heard when I'm going through this exercise that I'm not modifying any vowel as I go through the blends. as I kind of go through my blend here from the E to the F sharp, and the G there, I'm not darkening or modifying the vowel. It stays a very open ya. I'm not doing, let's see if I can give you this example here, the F sharp. Ya. I'm not doing that. Ya. I'm not turning ah into to get that F sharp. Go to the G here. Ya. I don't need to do that. Ya. I keep a nice bright ah. Ya. Now, it's out there, and other vocal coaches teach this similar thing. Ken Tamplin teaches all about the, it's the la, ah, and all that nice big open ping. Ah, but Ken then teaches you to modify that vowel and darken it as you go through the passage of the first blend there and up there. So you're not actually staying true to the ah sound as you go through. La, you're going to an and you're getting away from the ah sound. Ya. If you set it up correctly in your lower notes, you can carry that singular bright sound all the way up, and your resonance places itself naturally. Keep that mouth, drop it, and leave it. Set it and forget it. Don't think, wow, I'm going up, I got all kinds of stuff, I got to modify vowels as I go through or back away. No. If it works down here, it'll work here, and here, and here, and here. If the setup is the same, just let the vocal cords stretch, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll go up to, let's say, the E here. Breathe. The voice naturally brightens and naturally the resonance just goes right where it needs to. I'm not fighting it. I'm not trying to put it on some weird shelf someplace. Place it here, place it there. Why bother? It just let the voice go where it wants to go, where it's designed to go naturally. Leave it alone. No darkening of vowels, no placement. Just let it open throat, let it open, right? Keep it there. And there's your G5. Yeah! Right? Yeah! Not my greatest A5 there. Yeah! A4 to A5. That worked down here. Yeah! There you have it. Consistent acoustical space. Now, basically what we're doing is we're just get the setup right in your lower notes, stick with it as you blend up into your higher frequencies or your head resonance. As you blend through the resonances, don't mess with it. Set it and forget it. Till next time, this is Kevin Richards from RockTheStageNYC.com here on YouTube and RPMVocalStudios.com on the web for voice lessons worldwide. Don't forget to subscribe. Use that nice little cool button right there. And subscribe to the channel so you'll know when I upload nice little gems like this again. Till next time, see ya!